Justin, good morning. Thanks for joining me again. Tell me about the American economy and the European economy and everything going forward in 2016.
Okay, the world economy at the moment is actually still growing at 3% a year. And whilst you get a lot of commentators sucking through their teeth saying this doesn't look good, that's actually the long-term average, so it's not bad. Compared to where we were, in 2008, teetering on the edge of financial Armageddon, that's not such a bad position to be in. Yes, the world is getting its lower and slower, but it is still growing. Let's have a look at what's going on. The US economy is not in bad shape. We've actually had some pretty good employment figures there. We've had good consumer figures in there, good figures in terms of manufacturing as well, and housing. So overall, despite the fact there's an election coming up, which often adds to some nervousness, the US economy is in not bad shape, and of course it's benefited hugely from the low gas price. Now, although the oil has been rising, fundamentally from where they were a year ago, 2 years ago, it's still very cheap. So the US is in not bad shape. Now, it depends what we're going to end up with the election, of course. Let's go elsewhere. Their biggest partner, obviously China, the Chinese economy. Again, despite the headlines, it's still growing. It's slowing up. It's not going to stop anytime soon. We don't actually know when it's growing at because Chinese data is a bit unreliable. We'll come to that. Most of their national data is unreliable, theirs especially. So it's growing at somewhere between 4, 6, 7%, something like that. And it's not going to be stopping. So that's actually not bad shape. What you've got, though, is a change in China from manufacturing to the service sector, and that's adjusting. You've also got in China demand now for more oil, more commodities, and you're seeing that picking up some of the commodity prices as well now, so that's more positive, and that will impact on the much trodden upon emerging markets and developing markets, which were so affected last year. As for our friends in the Euroland, well, actually we have pretty good figures in this first part of this year, again, almost despite our British media. But of course, again, we're seeing a position where it is lower and slower, but it is still growing. The big issues for them still relate to the problems around the euro. Not so much Greece, but actually getting the French economy to work properly, and the youth unemployment in Spain and Portugal and Italy. But despite that, Spain, Portugal and Ireland, a good example, those economies are actually growing really rather well. So, overall picture, actually not such a bad position. Ignore some of the headlines. It's growing, but it's slower and lower than before. It's growing, not shrinking.
Thank you so much.